When John first approached me about Wicked and I knew I was going to do it, John said he wanted this world to be our own version of Technicolor, our own Oz that was unlike any other Oz, something totally our own.
What was slightly different about Wicked was 2 films being shot at the same time, which was quite rare, and there's slightly different looks between the 2 movies. As the film grew, our ideas grew together between Alice and myself. It became a good partnership, really.
Wicked is the biggest thing anyone on our movie has ever done. It's just massive. We shot on 17 stages. Some sets were 50, 60 feet tall. We wanted to make an old Hollywood-style movie, something like Cleopatra or Spartacus. Big, grand sets, real, tangible filmmaking, practical sets.
The stage show was fantastic, and obviously we needed to make it look as great as that. You just try and make each part of it, exterior Oz, Emerald City, people flying in balloons, people flying through the sky. It's amazing.
I wanted there to be theatricality to the lighting, and when I realized the sun could become our spotlight, then suddenly I've all this freedom for lighting cues. And we ended up with almost 6,000 lighting cues in the movie. I went to David Smith almost immediately when I got to London with this idea. We started testing what was our version of pink, what is our version of purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red.
If you're going to use the LED lights to their full potential, you need to do quite a bit of testing, and then you try and choose the right tool to do the right job. The Geminis are made really well. Colour, the interface, whether the low end dimming's any good, that's a big part for me. You know, when you start going down, does it click off? Does it change colour? The light panels definitely ticked a big box in terms of light quality and control.
I saved you some space, by the way.
Do you really think this is fair?
I do not. I was promised a private suite. But thanks for asking.
2 characters who occupy many, many frames together. One has platinum blonde hair and is in all these different subtle shades of pink, and the other has green skin and is in beautifully black pleated wardrobe. They need to be balanced within the same frame. And so it took also that 18 weeks of prep to figure out how to light green skin and how to also light these 2 very different looks within one frame.
This is one of the sets that we shot at Universal Studios. I would take that layout of the set and I would start to put on the lights that Alice and myself think that is the right lights to use. I would put on what we call the reds on the stages, so that gives me an insight as to where the rigging points are. For instance, in the roof, we needed to put an overall ambience in there with a big silk. Those are Geminis that we rigged in the ceiling above the silks. The stage is 45 foot high, and some of the trees, because it's a forest, were at 40 foot high. So you don't necessarily get a big spread of light. If that was a completely open space and it was flat, you might not need so many panels. The trees are like big egg crates. At one point, we needed it to be sunny. So we decided to put par cans up. You could put really nice shafts and beams through at a really nice angle with some smoke, and it felt really, really nice. We had to light the backings up, which we used the Geminis for. We had a painted backing on this set. It wasn't a blue screen. And obviously we needed a full range of colour to be able to change, because we did shoot some day and night and change the colour temperature. So again, the Geminis worked really well for us to be able to recreate the ambience on the backing and also enhance whatever the colour of the paint was. So a combination of the Geminis in the roof and to light the back in, it worked really well for us on Wicked.
So the Ozdust Ballroom is a set that is made out of clear resin walls.
Another 360-degree set, and it's supposed to be underwater.
All the resin walls are backlit. Some direct, some indirect, some bounced.
We used the Geminis as space lights, so we hung them on top of each other, like 3 high, and then they just put a really nice ambience. One of the directions that come from John, our director, was that the walls felt like they was breathing. A small shift in colour and a small shift in intensity that was set up across the whole set.
And then he said to me, we're going to shoot her close-up first. No rehearsals, in her 65mm close-up, and we spin around her 360 degrees for 10 minutes. David has one wireless DMX. I have another one. And then the AD is doing some of the sliders, and my assistant is doing some of the sliders. So it's this constant choreography between lighting and camera and the actor.
She doesn't give a twink what anyone thinks.
A tear drips down her face and Ariana wipes it away, and neither of those were in the script. To be able to be so flexible with our lighting, to be the space for Cynthia to fully perform, then to capture that moment is complete magic. In the throne room, we used a lot of units. There's this one shot I love on Jeff Goldblum when he first comes out from behind the wizard's head, and it's his introduction. He just is illuminated in this beautiful way. And I think the control we could have over those lights, being able to shift the color temperature very quickly, because we had other lights that we couldn't adjust the color temperature on in that set, which is the practicals built into the wizard head. They're all 200-watt light bulbs, and they're tungsten. And when you dim them, that color temperature gets warmer. And they were dimmed down below 50%. The Geminis we were able to balance so that the wizard always looked great and our Elphaba and Glinda always looked fantastic. And it also created just such a beautiful, powerful light. Someone asked me how we made such a large movie that feels so handmade. I could not have imagined doing this movie without David. There's a lyric in the second movie, in a song called For Good, about leaving a handprint on your heart. And every single person's handprint is on this movie.
John Chu, lovely. The cast were amazing. Alice was great. It was a pleasure to go to work every day and work with those people.
They are my creative partners, and I love them all, and I feel so incredibly grateful to them.